Just give a little bit of description of your business, like how many people are employed and how many stores you have.
Yeah. Start again?
No, just keep going.
Okay. So the CPL group encompasses a whole bunch of retail outlets across the nation, which is pharmacy, supermarkets, hardware, apparel, and duty-free. And across the nation, we have about 3,000 employees. We started back in 1987, although I came to Papua New Guinea in 1984. So it's the 40th anniversary of mine in Papua New Guinea, which is not the way to start the 40th year.
Not related at all. Look, could you just describe a little bit about what we're looking at right now?
Well, we're looking at our North Waigani branch, which was the first store that really got ransacked and destroyed. That's the social media viral views that went out. But the worrying thing is that we've just had a session with all our staff from here, and when you hear the stories of mothers who are working for us, we got people who have worked for us for 3 generations, and them telling the stories and wailing as if it's like a funeral service in the Highlands, saying that they were barricaded, not knowing whether they'll go home alive or not, because our first and foremost instruction was bunker down, lock up, and the staff to be moved out. The staff had moved out, and as soon as the fire broke, the first thing was to do a head count. And there were some tense moments because we were one short of the number, and thank God we found the person. So we evacuated all the staff before we lost the whole property.
What have you started to take stock of the damage? Like in what sort of order and magnitude is it in really?
We haven't, to be honest. But losing major stores like this, and in Rainbow, and Badili, and Harbour City, so a massive impact on our turnover. It could be hundreds of millions, and it's not a fix it today. It will be a 3-year process, so we need to really sit down and assess. Being a public company, we need to be careful about disclosing numbers before we go to the stock exchange. But we'll be making a statement to the PNG today. We had an emergency board meeting yesterday. So we'll be making an announcement today, but the numbers will keep rolling in as we go along, because the extent of damage we don't really know. One of our branches in Badilis, which was half built, so structurally it may not be safe, so we're not allowing anybody inside yet in case the roof collapses. But it's a big toll, and as I said, when the people gathered here, they're worried about their livelihood. It's not about CPL, it's about the nation as a whole. We have developed thousands of farmers over the last 10 years in Papua New Guinea, and small-scale farmers, not in a developed market situation. And they're saying, I had a message from a guy from Goroka yesterday who sent his cow, the sweet potatoes, down. And he said, my son's going to sell it, and that will be for his school fees. Now, what do you tell this guy? His son may not be able to raise his school fees. So it's SMEs we develop. We buy products from the Highlands, from Bougainville, from Sepik, honey and jam, all these sort of things. Our orders will be cut into half next week. So the livelihood and the 300 or 400 staff which were involved in these stores which was burnt down, okay, we'll keep them employed for sure. But sooner or later we'll have to make a call for business viability. Do we keep them out? Mission is to keep everybody employed. So we will tell over time what happens after that.
You've sort of mentioned, I guess, the upstream on supply, but these gentlemen are talking about the garden here going. What does it mean for sort of food supply and availability right now in Port Moresby?
Well, right now we're okay. We had geared up. We have backup stocks all the time, but the situation will be other farmers feeling safe to come in to deliver the produce. So produce, I don't think we'll have problems there. The problem will be at the back end, where the farmers, instead of selling us 100 kilograms of cacao or papaya, they'll only be able to sell 50. So they will have to reimagine their budgets now. Have they got enough food? Have they got enough school fees? And that's the ramifications I think it's going to have on the larger part of the nation. We as a business, we will recover, we'll be resilient. Our staff are tremendous, and everybody's so supportive. So I think the ramification will be the larger community, which is what I think the culprits have not thought about, is what will happen to the mothers and fathers. We rent clinics inside the pharmacies as well. So we treat about 20,000 patients per month across the nation. Takes off the load of the medical system. Now, a lot of these, some of them are still stagnant. So 5,000 to 6,000 patients every month will put pressure on the hospital system now because they don't have an outlet to go to. So the ramifications far and wide than just our group and other businesses.
And I can ask you, the state of emergency was of course declared last night. Has there been any guidance on businesses what that could mean as far as support and over the coming weeks as well?
We are talking, we had meetings with the Chief Secretary yesterday and we're talking to the Chamber of Commerce. We don't really know in what format the support will come in from, but we've been engaged with the Defence Force and the police to at least provide cover in the interim. So the 2 stores that we've opened today in our distribution centre, we want police escort because not only for our goods but our staff needs to be safe and they're vulnerable. So we reinforce security to make sure in the event that it does flare up, the first thing is to lock down again. But I think things are calm. I've driven around town today. But most people, 98% of the people, I was in the store just earlier this morning, the amount of hugs I got this morning was more than Christmas. They thanked us for being there, for opening the stores. People ran out of food and medicines. 2-day closure, and it's impacted the whole nation. So, we'll bounce back.
Thanks, very much.
Thank you.